Good morning, students. Welcome to class 12 biology class. Today we are starting unit first, chapter second, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. As you know, sexual reproductions involve two parents, male and females, or in other words, it involves the production of and fusion of male and female gametes. Gamete may be two different cells most of the time, but in some cases they may be just two nuclei. One of the unique feature of sexual reproduction is occurrence of meiosis or reduction cell division at some state of development in the life cycle of an organism. Male and female gametes fuse to form zygote. This zygote develop into a embryo and embryo into a new plant. The offsprings produced contain the hereditary informations contributed by two different cells or from two different parents, generally representing each parents. Thus, it leads to genetic recombination and species variations are the two essential necessary features of the organic evolutions. Adaptations of flower to complete life cycle. Formation of seeds that protect embryo. It is also help in pollination of flowers. Absence of motility in gametes. The male gametes reach female reproductive organ of the plant along with pollen grain by the process of pollination. Gametophytic generation is short-lived and represented by gametes only. Advantages of sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction involves fusion of male and female gametes. It leads to genetic recombination and variation, which help the organism to adapt themselves to their environment. It also leads to development of new species. Possibility of development of new character is more in the offsprings formed from sexual reproductions. The capacity of adaptation is more in the organism produced by sexual process or sexual reproductions. Along with advantages, there are some disadvantages of sexual reproduction. These disadvantages are usually it requires two individuals, is male and female individuals, jointly produce the offsprings by this process. It results in variation in offspring due to which possibility of removal of basic character is more. Means they are not the true copy of or carbon copy of their parents, but with some new characteristics. As you know, during sexual reproductions, meiosis cell division or reduction cell division take place. By reduction process, number of chromosomes become half. How the chromosomal number is restored in any organism, because every organism has a particular number of chromosomes generation after generations. How this number is restored? The number of chromosome is constant for each species. Usually each species is diploid. For example, somatic cell of human beings are diploids. Somatic cell of human beings have 22 pair of autosomes and one pair is sex chromosome. After meiotic division during gametogenesis, spermatogenesis and oogenesis, the number of chromosomes in gametes become half or haploid number, means 22 plus 1 in each gamete. During fertilization process, haploid male and female gametes fuse together to form zygote, which is diploid. In this way, by the process of fertilization, diploid number is restored. This zygote divides mitotically to produce embryo within a seed. This seed germinates to produce a new plant. Thus, chromosomes number remain constant during sexual reproduction. Angiospermic plants or flowering plants exhibit a clear alternation of generation in its life cycle. They possess a two generation, sporophytic generation and gametophytic generation. A sporophytic means 2x generations. It is the main and dominant phase of life cycle in flowering plants. It is stabilized in the form of root, stem, leaf, flower. It is free living phase. Gametophytic generations it is represented by gametes only. Male and female gametes represent the gametophytic generation. The sporophytic phase of angiospermic plant is diploid, whereas gametophytic phase is haploid. The gametophytic phase is represented by pollen grain in male, embryo sac in female, and all other structures which are haploid. Life cycle of an angiospermic plants starts with seed germination. Seed germinate to give rise flowering plant. Flowering plant produce flowers. Flower have male and female reproductive organs, which are male is represented as androecium and female whole as gynoecium. Unit of androecium is stamen, which produce pollen sac, inside which microspores or pollen grains are developed. Unit of gynoecium is carpel or pistil, which contains ovules. So this represents male gametophyte, or it is the gametophytic generations, and female gametophyte. male gametophytes produce two male gametes whereas female gametophytes produce the egg cell and secondary nuclei. One male gamete fuse with the egg cell to form embryo or zygote. Zygote give rise to embryo and embryo into seed. Second male gamete fuse with the secondary nuclei to form endosperm. In most of dicotyledonous plants, endosperms is exhaust during embryonic development, but in monocotyledonous plants, endosperms remain persistent, which provide nutrients during seed germination. From zygote to young or sporophytic generation starts. This is the 3N. Secondary nuclei is already 2N and 1 chromosome from the second male gametes form the 3N. So this process is called double fertilization because one of the male gametes fuse with egg cell to form zygote and other male gamete fuse with secondary nuclei to form endosperm nucleus. This is also called the triple fusion because 3N endosperm is formed by second fusion. So reproductive organ of a angiospermic plant is flower or flower. The reproductive part of angiospermic plant or flowering plants. The reproductive flower, the reproductive organ of angiosperms. Flower in angiosperms are reproductive part of plant body. Flower is regarded as a modified shoot in which the axis is modified into thalamus and leaves are modified into floral leaves. A stalk of a flower is called pedicel. A flower with pedicel is pedicellate and without pedicel is called sessile flower. 4 whole of floral leaves may be found on the flower. These are calyx, corolla. These both are vegetative or non-reproductive part of a flower, and androecium is male reproductive part and gynoecium female reproductive part of a flower. Among these, calyx and corolla are secondary folds or vegetative, whereas androecium and gynoecium are compulsory folds. Calyx and corolla help in sexual reproduction in indirect ways. Calyx protect the flower in bud stage, and corolla, being scented and colorful, attract the insect, birds, or attract the pollinators for pollinations. While androecium is a male reproductive part and gynoecium is female reproductive part of a flowers. So androecium are male reproductive part. Detailed study of a structure of a flowers we have already read in morphology chapter. Androecium is male reproductive part of a flower. It contains a definite number of stamens or the unit of androecium is stamen. For example, there are 4 stamen in ocimum, 5 in datura and brinjal, 6 in mustard, and infinite number of stamens are found in China rose. A stamen is regarded as a modified microsporophyll in which the lower part is in the form of filament at the apex of its anther. A stamen contains 3 parts. At the apex there is anther, which is bilobed in most the cases. Is filament, 2 anther lobes, and 2 anther lobes are connected with each other through a tissue known as connective. Connective is found between 2 lobes of anther. Gynoecium are female reproductive part. Gynoecium is fourth and innermost whole of a flower. Its function as the female reproductive part and consists of 1 or more carpels or pistils. Our functional unit of gynoecium is carpel or pistil. Carpel is regarded as modified megasporophyll. It contains 1 or more ovule in its ovary, and ovule is the integumented megasporangium. Parts of a carpel or pistil is also made up of 3 parts. Topmost, pedicel or stalk, thalamus, ovary, which contain ovule, style, and stigma. A carpel or pistil also contains 3 parts: stigma, style, and ovary. Now the steps of sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Steps of sexual reproduction in higher plants. In higher plants, sexual reproduction is achieved in gametogenesis or microsporogenesis, means male gametogenesis, and megasporogenesis, female gametogenesis. First step is gametogenesis, which includes microsporogenesis. Microspores are produced inside young anther, while in young ovules are produced in megasporogenesis. Usually a single megaspore is produced inside an ovule. Second step is pollination. Third, pollination means transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of a flower. Development of male and female gametophyte. Final development of male gametophytes are male gametes take place in the female flower. When it reaches to the stigma of female flowers, male and female gametophyte in flowering plants develop from microspore and megaspores. Male gametophyte start to develop in the microsporangium itself while it is completed on the stigma. Mature male gametophyte is in the form of pollen tube. The 8 nucleated female gametophyte is formed inside ovule. Gametogenesis inside mature male gametophyte, 2 male nuclei are formed which function as male gametes. Likewise, a single egg is formed in the mature female gametophytes or embryo sacs. Embryo sacs have 8 nuclei, out of which 3 of the lower sides form egg apparatus, in which 1 is egg and 2 are synergids or accessory cells. 2 nuclei at the center form secondary nuclei and 3 nuclei at the upper regions antipodal cells, which provide nutrition during embryonic development. Only 1 acts as the egg nuclei. Fertilization, fusion of male and female gametes or fusion of male gamete with egg nuclei to form zygote within the embryo sac is called fertilization. Development of embryo or embryogenesis. Overall process of formation of zygote and development of embryo is known as embryogenesis. Structure and development of anther. Structure and development of anther. Anther or pollen sac is the most important part of male reproductive organ of the angiospermic plants because pollen grain or male gametes are formed within it. The tears of an anther show that it has a homogeneous mass of meristematic cells which is covered by epidermis. Generally, anther is two-lobed and each lobe has 2 chambers. In this way, a mature or developing anther is 4 chambers which is filled with homogeneous mass of dividing cells or meristematic cells. An anther is terminal and fertile portion of stamen consists of 2 lobes, anther lobes, which are connected by a connective. Connective passes a vascular strands. Through vascular strands, mineral water and food materials are supplied to the anther. Each anther lobe consists of 2 long pollen sacs or pollen chambers. These are the pollen sacs or pollen chambers known as microsporangia. This type of anther is called dithecus. Thus, a typical anther has 4 pollen sacs or microsporangia, hence it is tetrasporangiate. The 4 pollen sacs lies in the 4 corners of an anther. They are covered by a common epidermis. On the tears of anthers, it shows the following structures. Epidermis, it is outermost layer of anthers which is made up of single layered cells. From outside it is covered with a single layers epidermal cells. At the middle there is connective with vascular tissue, and at four corners four sporangia are situated, filled with soft tissue or dividing cells or parenchymatous cells. Second layer is endodermis. Just below epidermis, endothecium is present. It is made up of long chamber cells having spiral thickening. It helps in the dehiscence of anther. It forms ostomium at certain places, mostly at the corners, and from the ostomium, at ostomium place the epidermis is too much thin, so that anther can rupture from these positions to release pollen grains. It provides a pathway for releasing pollen grains. Middle layer, it is present below endothecium. It is 2 to 3 cells thick. Fourth layer is tapetum. It is mainly nutritive in nature, present below middle layer and just outside the pollen chamber. It is wedge shaped. Cells of tapetum are diploid. Tapetum is a nutritive tissue nourishing the developing microspores and microsporangia. A microsporangium is present on the inner side of tapetum. It contains a large number of pollen grains. The various layers of pollen sac or microsporangium are epidermis. It is outermost layer. Endothecium. It is the layer of columnar cells with thickened wall. It is helpful in the dehiscence of anther sac. It forms ostomium in certain places. Third layer is middle layer, which is 2 to 3 cell thick layer below the endothecium. Fourth layer is tapetum, outermost layer of pollen chamber. Its cells are diploid, and tapetum provide nutrition to the developing pollen grains. Development of pollen sac or microsporogenesis. Development of microsporangium. During the course of development of pollen sac, few hypodermal cells in all the four corners of epidermis increase in size and behave like archisporial cells. Or we can say any cells from the hypodermal regions become enlarged and act as archisporial cells. These archisporial cells divide periclinally to produce two cells, outer primary parietal cell and inner sporogenous cells. Inner primary sporogenous cells. Parietal cells form the ball of microsporangium. Primary parietal cell divide to produce 3 to 5 layered ball. The cell wall of outermost layers become thickened to form endotheciums or fibrous layer. In the groove present between the two pollen sacs of anther lobe, the hypodermal cells lying at the endothecium remain thin-walled. They constitute the ostomium or line of Denny cells. The cells of medial layer become dead and provide nutrition for developing microspores. Cells of septum are also used in the nutrition of microspores. The primary sporogenous cell divide repeatedly to produce a large number of pollen mother cells or microspore mother cells. These microspore mother cells divide meiotically to produce pollen grains. The development of pollen grains are microsporogenesis. Development of microspores or development of pollen grains. So besides the above changes in the ball layer of sporogenous layer comprising of primary sporogenous cells also undergo several division to form microspore mother cell or pollen mother cell. Microspore mother cell or pollen mother cell or in the initial stage microspore mother cells are closely packed, but as the anther enlarge, pollen sacs become spacious and the pollen mother cells assume a spherical shape and get loosely arranged. In many cases, some of sporogenous cells are non-functional and serve only as the nutritive material for the functional microspore mother cells. Each microspore mother cell is diploid in nature and by a single meiotic division give rise to 4 haploid nuclei. The 4 nuclei so formed are arranged tetrahedrally. In these 4 nuclei are arranged tetrahedrally in this manner. And cleavage of cytoplasm occurs, separating the nuclei into 4 distinct segments. Microspore cells, which finally become distinct as the microspore or pollen grain, which are haploid in nature.